Hello everyone, it is Gerda Steyn here, and I am going to give you a little bit of a post-Comrades debrief. This debriefing vlog is brought to you by Biogen. Biogen is a trusted South African sports supplement brand. They've got such a wide variety of products available both online and in store in Dis-Chem pharmacies nationwide. First of all, the race this year, the Comrades 2025, really was an amazing day for me. It was such a highlight, and I just wanted to say, before I start with my own experience, a huge congratulations to each and everyone who took on this challenge. For the finishers who got to the finish line and got their medal, massive congratulations to you. If you didn't make the finish line, we'll see you hopefully again next year for another go, and huge respect to each and everyone who took on this race. It was magical. I think everyone will agree with me. The Comrades Marathon, I think this year, I say it every year, but I do think that year on year it just becomes more and more spectacular, and something that is so special and so truly South African, something that we as a country can be very proud of, let alone when you can say that you are a Comrades Marathon finisher. Also, thank you to everyone who supported along the route, who supported from their couches at home, and everyone following the race, and yeah, just the support and the love means, to me personally, it means the world, and I know that it means the same amount to every runner that was out there on the road on Sunday. I want to give you a little bit of a debrief with my experience in the race. You may know that it was a really good day for me. I managed to win my fourth Comrades title. It was also this year an average pace record, meaning that it wasn't a time record as in the fastest ever time for the Comrades down run. That record from 2023 still remains. However, the route was quite a lot longer, but I managed to basically run a faster average pace than I've ever run before. So it was the average pace record time. My finish time was 5 hours and 51 minutes, 19 seconds to be exact. And yeah, it was a wonderful day. The race this year started at 5:45 for the first batch of runners. And I think that the fact that it used to start 5:30 in the past, those 15 minutes later just meant that it got lighter 15 minutes earlier, which I think came in very handy for us runners. In the first few kilometers of the race, very fortunately, I immediately felt quite comfortable, which was not the same case for me in 2023. In 2023, I struggled to find my rhythm for about 20 kilometers in the race, in the first 20 kilometers. But this year was immediately I felt comfortable. We started to sort of find our way around, and I found a nice group to run with. We communicated a little bit. Everybody knew that, you know, we are working together. We have to check our feet. We must take care of each other, and also make sure that we choose the shortest racing line, even though it's dark, and even though you know, there's a lot of runners around you. I still think it's a good, you know, decision and a good idea to just keep your mind on trying to run as short as possible. We got underway. I had a strategy. I had a set race plan in mind, but I will always take into account the way I feel. That must come first. If I plan my race time and my race splits and I don't feel comfortable with that pace, I have to be honest with myself and change my plans. But as I said earlier, I did feel comfortable, so I was able to stick very strictly actually onto my race plan. I just had a look earlier at my planned paces versus my actual paces that I took from my Strava activity. So I worked out what was the difference, and just had quite a bit of a look at it, and I'll give you a rundown. My time that I was aiming to cross through the first 10 kilometers hang on, I've got it written down, was 39 minutes, and I ran through the first 10 kilometer split in 38 minutes and 58 seconds. So that was spot on. Same for, no, the second split, which was at the 20k mark, I was slightly behind plan. My plan was to run through 18 minutes and 30 seconds, and I went through just under 1 hour and 20 minutes. My plan was 1 hour and 18 minutes, and I ran through in just under 1 hour and 20 minutes. But at 30 kilometers, I was again closer to my planned time of 1 hour 56. And when I got to the 40 kilometer mark, I was again bang on plan at 2 hours and 34 minutes and 40 seconds. My average real time there was 2 hours 34 and 46 seconds. So I was only 6 seconds off my plan. From there onwards, it went really well. When I got to the halfway mark, when I got to the 40k mark, I was able to have a clear visual on the lady. I was not in the lead at that point. So there was a lady in front of me. She started really fast. She had a big gap. She opened a big gap immediately from the gun-go. So I didn't even see her. I couldn't even see the lead vehicle for a long way. But as we got closer to 40 kilometers, I was able to see the vehicle, and then actually she became visible as well. So I could tell that the gap was certainly decreasing quite rapidly. And it was around, I think it was around the halfway mark, exactly halfway mark, where I got close to her and then passed her. So it was at halfway when I took the lead for the first time. After a few minutes, however, she caught up with me again and passed me, but that didn't last very long. I passed her within probably about 200 meters down the road. I passed her again. So from there onwards, I was in the lead, well, basically until the finish line. But yeah, the dynamics did change a little bit. So let's go from there. Also, the lady who was then behind the two of us, Alexandra Morozova, who also finished second in the overall women's race this year. She was about, at Drummond, she was about 1 minute and 40 seconds behind me. So that was more or less the gap between us. But when we got to the top of Botas Hill, so climbing out of Drummond, way up past the 50k mark, about 52 k's or 52.5 k's into the race, the gap between the two of us was 4 minutes. So I heard word from the road. Duncan helped me also quite a bit with getting exact times, exact splits, to tell me just a little bit what was going on. And I knew by then I had a 4 minute gap between us, which gave me a little bit of time to just get comfortable and get just not feeling so nervous or feeling like I'm really being chased. 4 minutes at the pace we are running is more or less a kilometer. So I could, in my mind, almost visualize what that meant in terms of distance between myself and Alexandra. So, but it's still a long way to go. So I didn't at all relax completely. I know the race is not finished until you get to the finish line. So from 52 all the way down into Hillcrest, through Kloof, that stretch for me on the Comrades is very, very enjoyable. The 60k mark through Hillcrest is always, there's so much crowd support, and it is wild running through there, and it's really lovely running as well. Like I say, it's downhill. There was also a hotspot this year. A hotspot means that the person who ran through that specific point in the race, even though it's not the finish line, it's just a point, gets a prize bonus. So you also have to then finish still under 7 hours 30 to claim that prize. You can't just run to that point and then stop. But about 63 kilometers into the Comrades, there was a hotspot, which I was glad to claim when I passed it, and it also gave me quite a bit of a mental boost to really keep going and to make sure that I stay strong. So from there onwards, I knew Fields Hill was waiting. Now, everybody would always talk about Fields Hill on the down run. It is tough on the up run as well. It's about after the half marathon mark on the down run, on the up run, but on the down run, it can really hurt your legs so much. When you get to that point, 64 kilometers into the race, you've run a long way already. You've done a lot of downhill already, and now a very steep downhill awaits. And as we ran through Kloof area, just approaching Fields Hill, I was feeling my legs quite a bit at that point. I'll be honest. I didn't struggle. I wasn't really in a moment where I thought this might end very badly for me, but it was just almost as if my legs were telling me, take caution down this hill. And also mentally, I felt quite okay still, because I knew the gap, the distance between myself and the ladies. So I thought to myself, let's be cautious down Fields Hill, rather play the safe card, run down this hill and make sure that you get to the bottom in a good way and in one piece, because you can make a big mistake running Fields Hill too fast. I'm the first always to tell people to be cautious of Fields Hill, so I can't be the person who make that mistake. So I ran down Fields Hill with not the most comfortable, but I got to the bottom, and only then at the bottom of Fields Hill to find out that Alexandra actually motored down Fields Hill. So she decreased that gap. She gained 1 minute on me within 3 kilometers on Fields Hill. So then I knew this is not fun and games now. I have to be very sharp, and I have to focus, and I have to make 100% sure that I run my fastest possible run from that point onwards to the finish line. Running through Pinetown after Fields Hill was okay for me still. I still felt good. I saw Duncan again at that point, which also really, it always helps me so much to see him, to find that support. And I had another energy drink as well, and I just made sure that everything in my control, I'm controlling, and I'm doing it to the best of my abilities. The next challenge on the course awaited as well, which is Cowie's Hill. And when we got to the bottom of Cowie's Hill, I just visualized myself running on one of my traditional, or one of my favorite training routes, where I trained for many runs and many kilometers leading up to the Comrades. And there's one specific hill on my training route that is a very difficult hill, and it's a 1 kilometer uphill, and I named it Cowie's Hill because I always think about Cowie's Hill when I'm training there. And when I was actually running the Comrades, the Cowie's Hill hill, I was just visualizing myself, putting myself on that path and thinking about how much I love it and how much I actually trained for it. And I told myself that that hill is way harder than Cowie's Hill, and I've suffered more on that hill than I will be suffering now running up Cowie's Hill. So I just almost channeled all my energy into that and gave myself the most positive thoughts that I possibly could. So running up Cowie's Hill, I didn't actually feel bad at all. I enjoyed it. I was in my zone. I had a huge cheer zone at the top of Cowie's Hill, which was amazing. They even played a special song for me there. I felt just so supported running through those streets and through the trees as well. It's nice and shaded, so I can't say that I didn't enjoy Cowie's Hill. A lot of people also asked me whether I walked up Cowie's Hill, and there's no shame in walking up Cowie's Hill, let me just put it out there. But no, I didn't have to walk on Cowie's Hill. I didn't have to walk on the race, so very fortunate with that. So running down Cowie's Hill, again, I knew my legs wasn't enjoying the downhills at all, but in my mind I just had this thought of I don't know why. I thought it's more than one lady working together to and decreasing the gap. That was just on my mind. So I really just made sure that I have 100% focus and looking at down on my watch again, just making sure that I'm on plan. I can give you a little bit of an idea at that point. My plan, my best case scenario plan really, or my optimum plan was to run a time of 5:49. So that was what I thought I could do, what I thought I was capable of doing. And I also knew that that would give me more than a 5 minute leniency, room, space between what I'm planning to have as a finish time and the actual average record pace time. So I knew I had to run under 5 hours 55 to increase my average pace record. So a 5:49 gives me a really comfortable little bit of wiggle room. So my time, my optimum finish time of 5:49 was, I missed it with, let's call it 2 minutes. It was very, very close. I'm very, very pleased with my time. And also, I think the fact that it was hot, everybody will tell you that it was quite a hot Comrades. Even at the start line, we weren't feeling cold at all, not needing any warm jackets or any second layers. So I think taken in the conditions and the way the race went and how I felt, it was quite, it was a perfectly paced plan. But to come back to that point, at 70 kilometers into the race, so just before we started to climb up Cowie's Hill, my planned pace for a 5:49 time was 4 hours and 29, and my actual time at the 70 kilometer mark was 4 hours and 31 minutes. So again, there I already had that sort of 1 minute, 2 minute difference. But knowing that my plan was with a 5 minute wiggle room, I was not worried at all. I would never allow my race, my finish time, my plan for a finish time to overrule my chances of winning the race. Winning the race is always my first goal. I will take a win in the slowest winning time in the history of Comrades. It means a lot more than your actual finish time. That's how I approach the Comrades, and that's what always worked. So yeah, at that point, my plan wasn't so much on my mind, but I knew that if I'm running my plan and if I stick to my plan, then at least I know I'm not losing time. I'm not running a lot slower than what I thought I would be running at that point. So knowing that I already had a 2 minute difference in my previous split through 60 kilometers, I knew that I was still in parallel with my plan that I set out to do. So when I got to the bottom of Cowie's Hill again, we got onto the highway, and for me that is always quite a difficult part of the down run. The highway is wide, so you're not feeling so, how can I say, almost hugged by the supporters. You are spread out, and the runners are also spread out, and to be honest, you see a lot of people struggling at that point, and it's heartbreaking. And me in that case, I'm struggling a little bit at that point, and then you see people really, really struggling. So I'm not a huge fan of that part of the route, but it was still downhill, which was good. You can still run quickly, and I just had to keep it all together. That was the one thing that was on my mind. So as we ran down the highway, you then take a right turn, and there's a really nasty hill. It is 45th cutting that you have to get up. First you go down, and then quite steep uphill, up 45th cutting. But again, actually on the uphills, I didn't struggle at all. It was completely okay for me to then have an uphill. It was actually quite a bit of a relief and a break to the legs, so that you've been going down for so much. The uphills didn't bother me at all, to be honest. So yeah, that was about 8 kilometers to go. I saw Duncan for the last time, and he said to me that the gap is now 2 minutes. So at that point, I just thought, it's going to be a sprint. I thought we're going to get to the finishing straight, and it's going to come down to a sprint finish. But I think also that idea really helped me. It spurred me on. My split between Sherwood and Durban, it's like a 4 kilometer split that's on the actual app, was at 3 minutes 27 per kilometer, which is almost my marathon pace, and my fastest split also for the entire Comrades. So certainly it spurred me on. I was so determined, and I still felt fine. I wasn't really in a bad space, in a dark space. I was tired, but that's the Comrades. You can't have it any other way. If you're not feeling tired in Comrades, you're not doing it right. So I wasn't too concerned. It just meant focus. So as we got took a left turn to come into Durban, I knew also that the old finish location, the Kingsmead Stadium, would be on my right hand side. And before the race, I told myself that when I get to that point, I will not be focusing on that. I will not think about how amazing it would be if I could stop now. That's not the finish line this year. So when I got to that point, I didn't even look at the stadium. I didn't want to see it. I just thought it's just another kilometer, and the finish line is still 2.5 k's ahead of me. So also before the race, I had a look at what the finish line would look like. So I knew exactly what to expect. I visualized the street finish long before I started the race. And I knew that it would be a long straight finish to get to the actual finish line. So it wasn't a surprise to me. I was not, a lot of people who watched from the sidelines in the finishing straight said that it looked like I was taking quite a bit of strain. I think my head was tilted back a little bit, and I just had not the biggest signatory smile on my face that they've ever seen, but I was still in control, which was completely okay for me at that point. But yes, it did take a lot out of me. It did push me to my limits, and I managed to get into that finishing straight. I saw the arch. I grabbed my rose from Caster Semenya, which was a huge surprise. I didn't expect to see her, and then that really special moment of receiving the baton that you then have to carry across the line and hand over to the mayor of Durban. That feeling, I mean, it was just incredible. I can't explain it into words. It's now a few days after the race already, and I'm still searching for the right words to really try and explain that moment. It has been an awesome journey until that point. It has been the most amazing training few months, really enjoyable as well. Not just the fact that it went well and that I wasn't injured, or that I didn't struggle through training. It was just really enjoyable as well. And I think also knowing that I've done it a few years now, well, a lot of years now. I'm not trying to invent the wheel here. I'm looking for ways now when I'm training to find ways to just improve on what I've done in the past, and trying to build on that rather than to trying inventing things or trying something completely new that I have no idea whether it will work or not. So it just, that moment, it came together really for me. It was wonderful. It was I don't know what to say. Every single year, if people ask me, is it becoming stale? Is it becoming, where do you still find the real spark and the excitement? No. Every year it just feels like it's becoming bigger and more meaningful, and the excitement just builds. It certainly doesn't fade. So receiving the baton, and then a few steps further down the straight and crossing the finish line, it was just magical. There was fire, there was streamers going off, there was people like cheering like crazy. Duncan was also waiting at the finish line, as well as my parents and all my partners, and it was just a wonderful feeling. So after the race also, then I always say that's really when the real ultra marathon starts, because yeah, there's not been a moment of silence since the race, but it's all in good spirits. I mean, I'm not complaining in the slightest. It's just really funny actually, because the day after the race we get invited to a prize giving, and the prize giving already starts at 8 a.m. in the morning. So the next morning there's no lying in late sleeping in or anything like that. It's early up and off we go again. But yeah, it feels like almost like you're just riding on a wave, and eventually it will ease off. But when you're on the wave, you must just ride it and enjoy it. And yeah, it is really, really wonderful. And I think that especially nowadays, like after running the Comrades and winning the Comrades for quite a few years now, I really appreciate the fact people, it feels to me that people really want to see me succeed and want to see me do well. And I wish I knew of a better way to show my gratitude and to show my appreciation. But I can just do it with means of saying thank you, and hopefully that it reaches the right people and reaches everyone who supported. And also just while I'm running as well, to try and give a little bit of that energy back. I try to look for along the route for spectators, especially the young kids who's written posters. I saw so many times kids holding posters saying "Go Gerda" or something sweet. It's very, very special to me and very meaningful. So thank you to each and every one. I hope that all the Comrades runners will have a awesome time of relaxation, and yeah, just taking care of your bodies and making sure the recovery goes well. For me, I will certainly be taking a nice long recovery. I don't know if I'll be able to run at all this week. Probably not. When I feel the body is ready to go for a run, I will attempt it. Perhaps closer to the weekend. So 7 to 10 days out from race day is probably when I will start with light jogging again. And then from there on, for the rest of June, you won't see my Strava lit up. I will just be doing easy kilometers and just making sure I recover properly, and also taking a break sort of from being so fully focused, because it has been a wonderful first 6 months of the year, and I certainly don't want the year to end here. So therefore I will, like I say, take June off as very easy running and just enjoying and hopefully getting on some trails and doing fun running. And then after that, I will start to build back up again, piece by piece, little by little, until hopefully doing a marathon at the end of the year. I have put my feelers out already. I have a short list of races that I would like to do, but yeah, at the moment, first on my list, I've got my eye Soweto. I see you. So I've got my eye on Soweto Marathon, and I might still change my plans, but so far that's what really excites me for this year. I've never run the Soweto Marathon, and when I'm running in Johannesburg and I chat to runners, when the conversation is not about Comrades, I always get told that I have to run Soweto Marathon. So I feel a little bit like that is missing from the races that I've done. So hopefully if all goes well, but until then, I hope that you have an awesome recovery time. And again, thank you so much for listening to my vlog.